now that we know that, we can talk about this show. It's AAA, everybody, and crowd was hot.
Yes.
The crowd was very hot. Let's just get right into it.
Show was 2 hours long. Now, to be fair, in AAA, probably in all of Galavision, there's a lot of commercial breaks, and the commercial breaks go for, seriously, like 6-7 minutes every time. So in a 2-hour show, we probably watched maybe an hour or 10 minutes of actual television. Mm-hmm. But they still only showed 3 matches. So those 3 matches all went forever.
Hernandez, Illegal against Joe Leader and Nicho, El Milenario, the former Psicosis from WCW, against Silver King and Ultimo Gladiador in a 3-way tag team ladder match. They did a lot of really scary...
Some goddamn stupidity running wild here.
Yeah. Hernandez has trimmed down and tightened up, so to speak. He's jacked. Boy, is he jacked. And presumably heading back to TNA here sometime soon. He did something really stupid. He fell off a ladder through a table that broke funny and looked like he damn near killed himself.
He was fighting with, I believe, Nicho. They were fighting on top of the ladder, and the spot was he would get thrown off a ladder through a table. This sounds simple. He had his feet on top of the very top of the ladder when he went off, and he did not rotate all the way through. He was basically upside down when he went through the table. He came up bleeding from the head. This looked horrifying, and I don't think it was the scariest thing in the match.
Yeah, there were some...
Illegal, he laid Silver King on a pair of tables on the floor. Then he climbed the lighting rig, went, I would guess, about 15 feet into the air, and came off with a senton. That was scary. Right away after that, Leader tried to jump off a ladder in the ring, tried to elbow smash a guy through a table on the floor, and his plan was that he would jump off this ladder and land with his elbow on the guy and his feet on the floor, which would actually be a fairly safe way to take that bump, as safe as it could be. But he misjudged his jump entirely, and one foot came down on the apron. This is exactly how Sid broke his leg many years ago, so I bet that sucked.
He seemed fine.
He went through several ladders in this match also. There's carnage and chaos everywhere. Electroshock ran in at one point and just destroyed Silver King and Gladiador. And I will say, throughout this the 2 hours we watched, we probably saw, I'm going to guess, in the neighborhood of 3 dozen chair shots. A lot of chair shots. But you know what? Guys put their hands up each and every single time.
Yeah.
It's not complicated.
Well, I mean, they're in enough pain from taking bumps on that fucking ring.
And they are working in a ring that may as well be a slab of granite with a canvas laid across it.
Damn, that looked like a hard ring.
Yes. So Electroshock ran in. He killed that team.
I would rather have fallen on ladders and through tables, quite frankly, than landing on that fucking ring. Yes. There should be a match where the loser has to take bumps on the AAA ring.
First one to take a bump on the mat loses.
He would be knocked unconscious half the time.
Yes. So Electroshock in that ring, which we just discussed, he powerbombed Gladiador very hard. I bet that sucked. And then after all this chaos and insanity, it ended with Gladiador and Nicho fighting on top of the ladder, and Gladiador shoved Nicho down and grabbed the belts and won.
And they do the obligatory, you grab the belt in the ladder match, and then you dramatically fall off the ladder. Even if there's absolutely no reason for you to do so.
Right.
Which was the case here. So I see you've written it was the biggest train wreck you've seen in years. I don't know if I would go that far. This was
it was up there.
This was a 3-team ladder match with a lot of stupid spots.
It's been a while since I've seen this much carnage.
There was a lot of carnage, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a bad match or anything like that.
No, I don't mean... maybe you're misinterpreting Trainwreck. But between the Hernandez out of control bump, the bump off the lighting rig, Leader almost breaking his leg on the apron, there's a lot of guys almost hurting themselves very, very badly here.
And we had a match which... I enjoyed for a lot of different reasons. Damien, Halloween, and X-Fly against the Psycho Circus. And X-Fly, he's got a charm to him. I don't really know how to explain it. He's like kind of fat.
He's wacky.
He's looks like Violent J of Insane Clown Posse, actually. Maybe the same guy for all I know.
He looks like you would never know this guy, but there's a TV show called Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
I know this exact same guy.
Yes, he looks like Guy Fieri.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And Psycho Circus, of course, had been undefeated for like 3 years, never beating anybody. Of course, they were like the Miz. And coming into this match, and of course, we had the Monster Clown.
Yes, I was aware there was a group of clowns running around Mexico winning all their matches. I think I was even aware their name was the Psycho Circus. I was most certainly not aware that the individual clowns were named Monster Clown, Psycho Clown, and, not making this up, Murder Clown.
Yeah.
That's his name.
I think he may have originally been Killer Clown, and at one point they just began calling him a Murder Clown. I'd have to go back, and I know there was a day where there was a change, which was quite comical. I can't remember all the details.
Murder
of it.
Clown.
Yeah, Murder Clown, everyone. And these clowns suck.
Oh, God, they're bad. I was also very disappointed that Psycho Circus did not actually use Psycho Circus by Kiss as their theme song.
No.
That would have been awesome.
The clowns were really poor wrestlers here in this cage match. I forgot to mention, it was a cage match.
It was a cage match with all kinds of plunder inside. They had barrels.
So what would that be? Monsters Ball?
I guess.
One of these stupid...
There was ladders, there was chairs, there was tables, barrels, as I said. And 6 human beings inside a ring, so I thought it would actually be a complete clusterfuck, and in many ways it was, but it was still kind of fun. I guess Halloween and Damien are the heels. It's hard to tell sometimes. They locked one of the clowns outside as they were beating up the other clowns inside the cage 3-on-2, and so the other clown had to climb the cage from the outside and then do a giant dive onto all 5 men. And the chaos was on from there. Very soon, there was blood everywhere, puddles on the mat, all over guys' clothes. But the thing is, every guy in this match was either wearing a mask or a lot of face paint, so you couldn't actually tell who was bleeding. Which begs the question, why bleed?
That is, in fact, correct. He started out as Killer Clown, and then in August of 2009, he just began being billed as Murder Clown. Yeah.
Murder Clown.
Of course. Makes sense. So, yeah, this match, I don't know. The clowns, as noted, no good.
X-Fly hit one of them with a flip senton.
Yeah.
This appeared to be an attempt to break all his ribs at once.
Yeah.
He just crushed him with all of his body weight.
It didn't look very healthy.
No.
So, clowns were escaping, Perils were escaping, and it came down to, who it came down to?
Halloween and a clown.
One of the random clowns.
The end of this match is going to be an absolute treat to read if you go over the notes.
Well, what happened was there were two. There was a clown and a Peril in the cage trying to escape, and a clown ran down to the ring and climbed up the side of the cage with a bat, and he threw it into the cage, and Halloween grabbed it and began striking the clown repeatedly, trying to perhaps murder Psycho Clown. So he's whacking him with the bat here and there, and the mystery clown then had run in unmasked, and it's Paraguayo Jr., who, of course, the director, perhaps on loan from TNA, missed him unmasking, which was quite the deal. And then he helped Halloween out of the ring, and Los Perros won, and that was fine. But then, oh my God, they had a post-match brawl which went on forever. We had Dr. Wagner Jr. coming in, and they dragged Aguayo into the ring, cut a promo on him. There was some brawling. There was bad medicine again. There was more fighting. There was more brawling. I have absolutely no goddamn idea what was going on, but a lot happened for a long time.
Yes, a long-ass time. And then we had our main event, L.A. Park versus Macias. Park came out accompanied by, as best I can tell, the Ku Klux Klan. Macias, when I saw him, I've seen him in 2 promotions, actually, in the legendary Wrestling Society X, which I still miss dearly, and also in TNA. He was a big, scary guy, and TNA in particular, he would climb up through the ring with blood pouring out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. In Mexico, he is a sex symbol like I have not seen since the heyday of the rock and rolls.
It was something else.
He was walking down the ramp. I counted at least 4 women who jumped the rail to run up and embrace and kiss him.
Yeah.
Judas Macias.
Mm-hmm. With the Ku Klux Mexiclan.
Yes, at ringside. So they this match went on forever. They brawled on the floor.
This was like one of those. You have to watch a lot of lucha, I think, to appreciate this match. I thought it was a pretty good match. I don't know if I'd call it match of the year or anything like that, but I thought they did a pretty damn good job with what they were doing. You have to realize that that part of the deal here was Cien Caras Jr. had been murdered, and I believe stepbrother of L.A. Park, if I recall correctly. So Park came out wearing his mask, and at one point near the end, he laid him out and put the mask on Macias as some sort of tribute, which for the life of me I don't understand, but that's what he did. And then he went for a figure four, and Macias ruled him up. This was after L.A. Park had hit him with the Martinete, as they call it, the dreaded pile driver, which kills most men. Didn't kill Macias. He fought out of it and hit a small package for a near fall. They had a ref bump, of course. They had Macias trying to tap him out with the crossface. And finally, it was just I believe a low blow and a chair shot led to the pinfall.
It was actually a classic AAA moment in that the ref, who had been calling this down the line the whole way, well, Tarantes got bumped, first of all. So there's the backup ref who gets in there, and he's being fair, and then arbitrarily he just stops and turns his back to the action, and Park hits a foul, and then about a dozen chair shots to the body, and then pinned him. Mm-hmm. That was that.
Park's mask was ripped to shreds.
That's actually the biggest thing I remember about this match. You will see guys in Mexico, their masks will be ripped up all the time, and you will routinely think, at this point the guy's basically unmasked. Park's mask was ripped off, okay? There was no mask on his head. All that was left of his mask was a square piece of fabric, maybe 6 inches per side.
And he put it in his mouth.
He put it in his mouth and had it hanging in front of him. And I guess this counted as being masked, because he was always very careful to keep it in his mouth. He was biting down on it, carrying it around.
Well, part of the deal was he had bled a gusher, and so he was pretty much unrecognizable.
Well, there's that.
Because he was caked in blood. Just caked in blood. So anyway, they did all of the traditional main event stuff. They did a lot of crowd brawling. They did all of the dramatic, slow near falls. The referee out of position. I thought they did a pretty damn good job. I didn't quite understand the finish, but again, I don't speak a lot of Spanish. Very little, in fact. So I don't really know what's going on, but it was a pretty damn good match, really, all things considered, per AAA standards. So might want to check that one out. Not the best match of the year or anything like that, but in fact, all of these matches, there was definitely something to see in all of them.
Yes,
that is for sure.
I did not hate, nor was I bored by anything on the show.
You could not possibly be bored.
It got a little repetitive and redundant. It was just a bunch of crazy brawls, but I was never bored.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about this show tomorrow with Conan. He's going to be on the show, so perhaps we'll ask him some questions based on this. But an interesting edition of AAA. That was 2 hours, 3 matches. So there you go.